Hello and welcome to Tech Insights with Ultima. My name's Tom Walker. I'm the Strategic Vendor Alliance Manager for HP Inc. And today we're joined by Geoff Hardwick, our Principal Architect for Modern Workspace. So Geoff, first off, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do at Ultima?
Yeah, sure. So I work in the pre-sales division here at Ultima, and I probably spend about 75% of my time with customers doing pre-sales or writing proposals. But the other 25% is around strategy, and that involves looking at new products and services from our strategic vendors, our main vendors, of which HP is obviously one of those.
Perfect. And obviously you and I have been looking quite closely at HP's DaaS proposition, so that's Device as a Service, recently. First off, do you want to give a bit of an overview to the viewers as to what DaaS is?
Yeah, sure. So the concept's pretty straightforward, really. Everyone's familiar with how most of us now purchase our mobile phones. Most of us now will spend a monthly fee on a phone. That fee will include a piece of it which will be contract, and the other piece which will be the actual hardware itself that you buy the phone. And the advantage for most of us is that you can afford it. You can pay that 30 or 40 or 50 pounds a month and have a nice phone the whole time.
Sure.
And perhaps every 2 years or whatever you want to do, you can replace that with the latest model. So it's that concept of changing from spending £1,000 up front for a nice new phone to just spending a monthly amount that you can afford, really.
So there's a lot of different offerings in the marketplace, and you know, why would you lead towards HP as opposed to some of the competitors for their Device as a Service solution? What differentiates them?
That's a good question. I mean, the main reason really we looked at it was the software layer that sits in between the lease agreement and and HP, and what they do there is a lot of proactive monitoring around the system. So instead of it just being we'll give you the device and you look after it, they're actually going to monitor the system all the way through its life cycle, and if something is going to go wrong with it, they'll pick up on that early and send out a replacement part or an engineer to fix that, and that's really useful. Obviously, the other thing they can do with the monitoring is do some resource allocation monitoring on it, so they can basically tell whether a user's making full use of that device. So if you've given a user a really powerful device and they're only using a quarter of that device, you can actually say, well, we can reallocate that to someone else and get them a device at a lower cost that's more suitable to the kind of job they do without affecting productivity and so on.
It's good to know all that's driven from the software.
From the software there, exactly, that sits on top of it, yeah. So that's really just one of the real good things about the HP offering.
And we know obviously from looking at the marketplace, in the same way it has done with cars, that lease agreements and people moving from CapEx to OpEx is very much on the increase kind of across industries.
Yeah.
I suppose, do you see a future where DaaS is used by the majority, or is it still quite niche for individual businesses? Is DaaS for everyone?
So DaaS is definitely not for everyone. It will depend on the organisation. Some organisations prefer using CapEx and want to buy all their devices, and that's absolutely fine, of course. Some organisations prefer OpEx, and therefore the model suits very well.
So today we've talked about Device as a Service, or DaaS, with HP Inc. Thanks to Geoff for joining me. To recap, we've covered off how DaaS gives you access to the latest devices from HP at a monthly manageable cost, including proactive fault detection, including the resource management piece, and also including the additional support. I want to thank you for joining us, and if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your Ultima account manager. Thank you.